daughter, Toni Suchka. Had a great first hour. Looking forward to this one. But we do have prayer partners here tonight ready to take your call, and we're going to pray at the end of the hour over your needs. So call us and let us know if you have a request or if you have a testimony or whatever. So we've got a good program lined up, don't we, Toni?
We do. We're going to continue talking about special needs children. In our first hour, we interviewed Jolene Philo, who wrote the book Sharing Love Abundantly in Special Needs Families. And so we just kind of wanted to piggyback off of that and have an interview with someone who actually works with special needs. So we have Meghan Sutherland. She's going to be with us tonight. She's actually a special needs teacher with the Greenville County School District. And so I have been able to hear much about her from my daughter, because my daughter is in a special needs club at school where she helps assist the special needs children. So we're going to be talking to her about what that looks like in the public school system, how, the public school system can help families. So I'm looking forward to.
We've also got Mark Ward and the Set Free Singers with us tonight.
Yes, he always brings a crew when he comes.
I love him.
So they always do a great job. So we're looking forward to them sharing in song in this hour as well.
And you got a scripture?
I do. It is from Philippians 4:6. And it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God."
Yes.
And so as you have a need tonight, we would love for you to call in so we can present those requests to the Lord. And just, pray to Him and know that He inclines to us. And when I love you've said that before, as we can recline, He inclines to us. So, He hears our prayers. So we'd love to agree with you as you call in for that. But first we're going to go to a song. Mark Ward and the Set Free Worship team is going to sing He Is.
Supernatural, wonderful, marvelous. He is. Sing it again, almighty, incredible, amazing, supernatural, wonderful, marvelous. He is. Let the earth
that was Mark Ward and the Set Free Worship team. They're always incredible, and we're
Yes.
always honored to have them on our show. Today we are going to be speaking with Greenville County School District Special Needs teacher Meghan Sutherland.
That's a long time.
I know. So I have had a little connection with her because she is actually a special needs teacher at my daughter's school, and she has been teaching with special needs for 10 years. So she has some experience under her belt with these kids. So welcome. Thank you for being with us tonight. So tell us exactly what a day looks like working with special need kids in the public school system.
I'm a little different. I teach in a self-contained setting. So we have different level special ed classes where it could be a resource where students are in gen ed classes but they get pulled out. I teach in a self-contained class, so all of my students are with me all day.
So when you say self-contained, that just means that they're not going into different classes
Yes.
throughout the day.
All of their education, their curriculum is all modified, so it's not on grade level. It's
Okay.
directed at their needs and
At
their
their
academic
level.
levels. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Now, my granddaughter, Addison, precious little
I know, I love
granddaughter.
her.
Now, she's a part of at the school called Be a Fan Club. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a club for students with and without disabilities, really focused on creating acceptance, tolerance, inclusion in our school community and the community that we live in and interact in.
So do you feel like the Be a Fan Club has helped regular kids understand what the requirements are for special needs families?
Definitely. I think before joining the club, a lot of our students say that they've never met a child with a disability before. And they're a little, I wouldn't say scared, but hesitant. They don't know how to interact with them, how to be friends. They just seem different to them. And after joining the club and spending several months or a year interacting with them, going on field trips, they start to realize that these guys are just like them. They're just a normal peer. They just have different talents and unique abilities that they don't have.
I know that when Addison first joined the club, I was talking to you, that it really helped kind of break down those walls of being unsure, like, how do I act? What do I do? What do I say? How do I treat them? And so it's really helped her. And I think she was a little scared. She wasn't sure what to expect, but it's definitely helped her. And now she's actually mentioned at times she might want to be a special needs teacher when she grows up.
Well, it's never a dull moment. I love what I do, that's for sure. I think we're scared of anyone who looks or sounds or talks different from
Yeah.
us until we meet them and we get to know them as a person instead of just a label or a vision or a picture that we see of them.
Right.
Now, you have what you call Special Olympics every year. How does that encourage the kids?
We love Special Olympics. We're one of the only middle schools in the state that actively participate in Special Olympics. We travel all over the state. We'll be going to Myrtle Beach here next week for fall games, and it really helps let kids build friendships. They're on a team one-on-one, one athlete, one gen ed partner, and so it lets them build friendships to see each other as a friend and a normal person, a teammate versus just someone who's in a different classroom from me.
So how many kids come to that? How many different schools is it coming together? Or?
I think they said there's over 1,500 this year coming to fall games from all over the state, and we're the only middle school going up to adult age.
Oh, you're the only middle school?
Yes, we get to compete with the high schools and the adult teams.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
cool. And how did that happen? Is it just the program at your school, or?
Yeah, you really just have to have a teacher that wants to do it and wants to commit the time, and kids that want to
Okay.
commit the time. And it can be expensive. You have to pay for transportation to get there. So it's giving up your weekends to go and do this logistically.
So do all the parents of your students, of the special needs students, are they going as well? And
A few do, but we tell them not to worry about it. Take a weekend off, enjoy yourself, go do what you want.
That's nice.
Like you would a typical middle schooler anyway. We've got them. And so typically our guys go by themselves.
Well, speaking about that, you saying giving them the weekend off, a parent a weekend off. I know that, a home life is going to look different with special needs kids versus kids who are not. And the divorce rate we talked about earlier in our hour with Jolene Philo, who wrote the book, Sharing Love Abundantly with Special Needs Children. The divorce rate goes, I think it's 50%, but it goes up to 80% for parents of special needs kids. And, I know parents struggle sometimes, what do I do? How do I get a break? Should I put them in school? Like, what would you say to parents who are struggling whether or not public school system is a good fit for their special needs child?
I would say, I know every child's different and they all have different needs, but overall it's a great outlet for the child and for the parent. We all need breaks, even from our typical children. We need breaks and time out to kind of just be ourselves. And our children with disabilities require so much more energy and patience and time from us that they don't get the breaks they really need for self-care.
Yeah.
And so going to these classrooms in a public classroom, it gives your parents a chance to have a break. It also gives the kids a chance to learn socialization skills, independent skills, along with the academics.
Now, I know when Jolene Philo was on with us, she was very good. She was talking about the love language. Now, how important do you think it is to talk about the love language?
Oh, tremendously. All of our kids are different. I mean, even our typical peers are different, but our special needs students are very different. They respond differently. What one child might like touch and that love and affection, someone else, they really don't respond to touch. It bothers them, it hurts them. So knowing how to relate to that child and make a connection with them is the heart of teaching in general. You have to know the relationship that you can build with a child before you can teach them anything.
Yeah, I know that the little guy that was on America's Got Talent, you know, I heard his mother say growing up, and his brother, that he didn't like to be touched, and they didn't know at first why, but there's all kind of things probably they go through, don't they, during that time?
Oh yeah, and they don't. We have many students who just don't like touch. You know, for our typical peers, they might like the high five or a hug or a handshake. Where our guys, some of them don't like it, and knowing that that's not their strength, they prefer, you know, a conversation or the praise. Or I have some students who don't like praise. They can't stand it. If you give them a positive praise, it's a negative for them. So really knowing each child individually.
And I know, going back even to the parents of, you know, having that break and, you know, not knowing what to do and if it's the right thing, I'm sure there's a lot of guilt that factors in of like, I'm a bad parent, I'm sending my kid, you know, to someone else. And because I will admit this, even with just a child with no disability, I was pregnant with Addison. I was 5 months pregnant, and I registered an unborn child for Mother's Morning Out. And I was like, because you had to register so far in advance, and I was like, is it okay to register an unborn child so that I could have like 1 day a week? And I felt bad, but I was like, it's okay. It's okay to do that, you know.
Well, she's been conceived already. She's yours already.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the guilt that parents
was a little
carry around, and then you have, like, someone that has a special needs child, the guilt. Like, what would you say for parents that are, like, what would be a good step for them of just letting loose of that guilt, or if this is just, they're just finding out, oh, my child is a special needs. Like, what is some advice that you would give a parent to know how to process that, navigate, like, what should they do? Because it can, I'm sure just finding out, you know, my child has autism or whatever it might be, what they should do. Like.
And I feel like when we're parents, we feel like we should be spending every moment either taking care of our child or doing something for them. And if we're focused on ourselves, it's selfish. And the biggest thing is just self-care. You can go 100 miles an hour, but you're going to break down at some point. And your child, especially a child with special needs, needs you. They're going to need more of you than a typical child would. And if you're run down and broken down, then you're not going to be able to take care of them. The whole system's going to crash around you.
Yeah.
And so the big thing is taking those baby steps of letting go. Find someone you trust. It doesn't have to be the school system or a teacher. Find a friend, a family member that you trust, and let them watch them for an hour just so you can get a break.
Yeah, I think even Jane Philo had spoke a little bit about that of self-care and taking care of yourself a little, you know, better so that you can be what you need to be for your family. I wanted to ask you, too, with these kids in the school system, what does life look like for them after school's done for them?
It really depends on their ability level. I mean, we have students that are considered special needs that have just learning disabilities. So they see things differently. The homework, like A plus B equals C, they might see B plus A equals C. They just need a little bit of help seeing the homework, the work better. So they would be your typical peers that could go to college, get a degree, and you'd never know. Then we have all the way down to our students with more complex disabilities that you think of when you think of special needs. Life beyond that is a whole range. Our high schools do a great job of working with them with job coaches, job training. They try to find them internships and jobs during the school day out in the community to get them trained. So once they leave school, your ultimate goal is some kind of job training or independent skill. Even if you're not able to be a greeter at Bilo, you can at least make a sandwich at home or make your bed or spend 30 minutes in a room by yourself without someone having to always watch you.
So really getting connected in the community to find out what is out there.
Yes, and any kind of independent skills. I know that's hard for our parents sometimes because I've grown up always taking care of them. But we always push independent skills. One day they're going to be 21 years old and out of the school system, and you don't want to keep doing everything for
Right.
them. You want them to be an independent adult.
Right. Good,
My
good.
goodness.
Well, what's your advice to our viewers? How can they help friends or families that have special needs? I know you said watch them for an hour. I know Jane Philo gave us some tips on that, but with you working with them on a daily basis, what would your advice be to a friend or family of someone of special needs just to help them out?
I think a lot of it is just acceptance and understanding that a lot of these students with disabilities, they may scream, they may talk loud, they don't always behave like we expect children of their age to behave because they're communicating and expressing themselves differently. So being willing to accept those differences and see them and still be able to interact with them, go out places together like you would typically do your other friends and family members, and be patient, take them for a break. Just doing other activities and giving the parents a break or grabbing the parent and being like, let's go do this together. You need a break from them. Kind of checking in on them all the time.
I like what you said because you always think of giving them a break or helping in this way, but probably maybe they don't get invited as a family to do things because people aren't sure. So I think just including all of their family in something would be nice.
They get scared sometimes, like, I don't want to make a scene, so we're not going to go out, or people aren't going to understand what we're doing. And so just kind of being accepting and understanding, again, that everyone's different. We
Yeah.
all communicate and act differently, and it's okay. And providing that kind of support and acceptance would go a long way.
Well, what
Right.
great information, right? I'm so
Yes.
thankful that you came and just shared with us a little bit from your point of view and working
thank
with
you
children.
for what you do.
I thank you. I love it. There's nothing
Yes.
else I would do.
Yes. Well, thanks for being with us tonight.
And give my granddaughter a big kiss and hug.
I will.
Well, we've got Mark Ward and the Set Free Worship Team singing another song, Your Love is Amazing.
Oh, what do you say to someone who gave his life so I could live forever? But your love's amazing. Say, Lord, mere words cannot express the greatness of your love, for it's amazing. Your love is amazing. Lord, so I can live forever. All I can say, Jesus, is your love's amazing. Your love's amazing. Telling Lord new words. Lord new words. Not express. Not express. The greatness of your love, Lord. Of your love. It's so amazing. Your love is amazing. Yes, it is. My God, it is. Lord, your love is so amazing. So amazing. When I'm down on my knees. When I'm down on my knees. Like the warm, gentle breeze. Your love soothes me. Your love soothes me. And I'm thankful it lifts me up. Lifts me up, Lord, saying when I'm down. Broken hearted lives begin. Broken hearted lives begin. Your love knows. Your love knows no end. Broken hearted lives. Your love knows. Your love knows no end. Broken hearted lives. Your love knows. Your love knows no end. Your love amazing. Oh, it's amazing, Lord, yes. I'm so thankful for you, Jesus. I bless your name, Lord. Sing. You can't find a greater love than the love that He can give. Than the love that He can give. So you can't find a greater love. You can't find a greater love than the love that He can give. Than the love that He can give. Sing it, sing. You can't find it. You can't find it. Oh, you can't find it. You can't find it. Oh, you can't find it. You can't find it. I said you can't find it. You can't find it. You can search the whole world over. No greater love than Jesus. Said you can't find it. Oh, you can't find it. Said you can't find the greater love than the love that He can give. Than the love that He can give. Your love's amazing.
Well, thank you again.
Yes.
That was another great song
Yes,
by
always
Mark
good.
Ward and the Set Free Work. Now, we're in the talks with them about doing a worship night at their church. So
Wow.
I am hoping that works out to do that
That'd
soon.
be awesome.
But we just appreciate you tuning in this evening. I hope that you've learned something that maybe you didn't know, and maybe you can help a friend or family member that has a special needs child. Maybe the book is something that you should get by Jolene Philo. But we just want to pray over you, your request, and any families that are out there now. Lord, we just thank you for meeting the needs of these requests who have called in. I thank you for every child, Lord. You created every child, and I just pray for the parents of special needs children tonight that you would give them strength, you would give them complete wholeness in their family, give them clear thoughts and peace over their family, Lord. We just lift them up to you. We thank you that you know the beginning to the end, and you work out all the wrinkles, Lord. You iron them out. And we thank you that they make the decisions that are best for their family. I thank you that you put people in their lives to bless them, lift them up, and encourage them. In Jesus' name.